Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, March 12, 2021. Jamaica's capacity to combat the global pandemic has been boosted through a $75 million loan commitment from the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB. It will introduce temporary measures to protect the income of vulnerable households and increase liquidity for businesses. The IDB loan is also intended to promote post-COVID-19 economic and fiscal recovery. It will help finance cash transfers to employees, grants to low-income informal workers, vulnerable groups, and the unemployed, and provide student loan relief. Additionally, it is aimed at supporting small business grant programs, especially in the tourism sector, and measures to strengthen fiscal institutions to improve efficiency and transparency of public investment. IDB Country Representative and Caribbean Department Manager Therese Turner-Jones says the loan is being provided at a crucial point in Jamaica's COVID-19 response as the government embarks on a national vaccine program and takes steps to ramp up activities in the face of the economic fallout experienced in 2020. Ms. Turner-Jones says she is hopeful that these resources will help both the health and well-being of the country. Approximately $729 million will be spent to provide social support for persons who are most affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. This is being funded through the $60 billion Social and Economic Recovery and Vaccine SERVE program for Jamaica. It includes $160 million to assist the destitute, indigent, and infirm through the poor relief.
This amount includes $6 million in grants for persons working in burials and cremations and the building of vaults for the funeral industry who are being affected by the current ban.
In addition, $50 million will provide further support to persons in entertainment and sports, and $40 million in COVID-19 grants for the disabled community. The finance minister says government will also pay the license fees for 5,000 contract carriage operators to the amount of $75 million.
These contract carriage operators have to buy a vehicle, they have a loan outstanding, they are required to be licensed, to pay a $15,000 license fee to the government every year. They paid those license fees last year, but as we know, had no business whatsoever. And so what we're saying is all those who paid their license in 2020, Madam Speaker, the government will pay their license in 2021.
A further $75 million will be used to reimburse one-third of the 2021 license fees for 15,000 route taxi operators who paid last year. Meanwhile, an additional 16,450 digital devices are to be provided to persons in need who have not yet received a tablet or laptop. Approximately 50,000 Jamaicans are to benefit from a further extension of the Best and Set cash grants until June this year. These are persons who have lost their jobs after March 10 last year due to the onset of COVID-19 and tourism staff who were retained during the pandemic by business operators. $3 billion has been allocated to continue the COVID allocation of resources for employees CARE program. The money is being funded through the $60 billion Social and Economic Recovery and Vaccine SERVE program for Jamaica. This was indicated by Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke during his opening presentation of the 2021-22 budget debate on Tuesday.
This will make, Madam Speaker, the unemployment support by way of direct transfers for up to 50,000 Jamaicans on a monthly basis throughout from March to the rest of 2020 is unprecedented in Jamaica's history. Direct transfers to the accounts of persons who have been unemployed by the pandemic.
The CARE program provides temporary cash transfer grants to individuals and businesses to cushion the economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Students have until May 1 to defer sitting the 2021 CXC examinations. Minister of Education, Youth and Information, Favour Williams, says her ministry has already prepared guidelines for deferrals.
These guidelines are to ensure that we manage the process efficiently, effectively, and judiciously. In addition to the ministry bulletins that will be sent to our principals, we will arrange a virtual meeting with our principals as well to detail the process for application for deferral, the considerations or criteria for approval to defer, and we will also detail for our schools how we treat with the retained or deferred students.
Minister Williams was addressing a virtual post-cabinet press briefing on Wednesday. CXC exams are scheduled for the June to July 2021 period, following approval from CARICOM's Council for Human and Social Development, which comprises all the ministers of education across the Caribbean region. CSEC and CAPE written exams will commence on June 14 and end on July 16, 2021. Results will be made available to the Education Ministry in the last week of September 2021. The virtual Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival will be staged tomorrow. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says the Coffee Festival presents an opportunity to celebrate Jamaica's rich tradition of coffee cultivation while supporting the continued expansion of the industry. He says though it will be a virtual festival, the event still affords important interaction between producers and consumers. This, he says, should prove beneficial to those businesses and communities where the local people in particular are anxious for the return of tourists exploring the cultural environment of the ordinary Jamaican. This year's event will be live-streamed on the Ministry of Tourism's social media pages, as well as the festival's Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram pages beginning at 10 a.m. It will include engaging conversations about coffee, cooking demonstrations, the annual barista competition, and pulsating entertainment. And finally, face-to-face consultations from the Ministry of Justice's mobile justice units have been suspended for the rest of March. A statement from the ministry is advising the public that in the meantime, individuals can access legal advice on criminal or civil matters from the mobile justice units via telephone. The decision comes as the country continues to see increasingly high numbers of COVID-19 cases. Meanwhile, the Justice Ministry continues to urge all Jamaicans to adhere to the COVID-19 protocols to help limit the spread of the virus. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.